Welcome to our show, everybody. Welcome to Gilley's Place. It's nice to have all of you with us today. Hope all of you have as much fun as we're going to have. We always have a blast. We have a special guest, Playboy recording artist, Michael Gilley. Oh, that's me.
When I play the piano. The style of piano that I play is very similar to Gilley's, and Gilley got kicked out of Bible school for playing that style of music. But the way we used to play when we were going to church, it was some glad morning when this life is over, I'll fly away.
Now, this little church is where I, along with my cousins Jerry Lee Lewis and Reverend Jimmy Swaggart, learned to sing gospel music. My mom and the church did not approve of the style of piano playing created by my cousin Jerry Lee Lewis. In 1956, Jerry Lee Lewis went to Memphis, Tennessee to record for Sun Records. Reverend Jimmy Swaggart went to Baton Rouge, Louisiana, became a premier evangelistic minister. I went to Houston to do construction work for $1.25 an hour. Jerry Lee Lewis records Whole Lotta Shakin'. It becomes a national hit.
Come on over, baby. Whole lot of shaking going on. Yeah, come on, baby. Baby, you can't go wrong.
I said to myself, if Jerry Lee can do it, I can too. 1959 comes along, and I do my first recording session with a gentleman by the name of Kenny Rogers. The song was called Is It Wrong for Loving You? And he played bass guitar on the recording session. 3 years later, I recorded my second Houston Top 10 hit, a song called Lonely Wine. The popularity of Is It Wrong and Lonely Wine kept me working at a club called the Nesterdale in the Pasadena area for 10 years, from 1960 to 1970. March of 1971, we opened the doors of what would become the Guinness Book of World Records, the world's largest honky-tonk. Gilley's, 4500 Spencer Highway, Pasadena, Texas. I convinced my business partners to start buying billboards and radio ads. The club becomes successful overnight. The club was doing so well, they offered me a television show on Channel 39.
Gilly's place. Let that country music put a smile on your face. We want you to feel welcome, so clap your hands and sing. Gilly's place, turn loose and do your thing. We've got good old country music and we sing it Texas style. So sit right down and join the fun, relax a little while. We'll try to sing the songs that will make you feel just right. We'll sing your kind of country on Gilly's Place tonight.
Gilly's Place, the home of country music stars Mickey Gilley, Tony Jolene, Johnny Lee, and Mickey Gilley's award-winning Red Rose Express. Stay tuned for 30 minutes of the best in Texas-style country music.
We'll sing your kind of country on Gilly's Place tonight.
I walked in the club one night, and the lady who owned the jukebox in Gilley's asked me if I would record her favorite song. She had heard me do it on the television show. I said, "What's the name of the song?" She said, "She Called Me Baby All Night Long." Take a listen.
She called me baby, baby, all night long. She used to hold and kiss me till the dawn. But then one day I awoke and she was gone. There's no more baby, baby, all night long.
After we finished that recording, the bass guitar player looked over at me and said, "All right, what are we going to do for the flip side?" Well, I really hadn't thought about it, so I played him a song I grew up singing with Jerry Lee Lewis and Reverend Jimmy Swaggart. I got about 45 seconds into the song and stopped, and I said, "This is going to sound too much like my cousin Jerry Lee Lewis." The bass guitar player looked over at me and said, "Who cares? It's going to be the flip side. Nobody will ever hear it." That song happened to be my first Billboard #1 song in the nation, Room Full of Roses. When Room Full of Roses was #1 in the national charts in the country, we had booked Conway Twitty at Gilley's in Pasadena, Texas. He's coming down listening to the country music stations, and he's hearing Room Full of Roses, but he hasn't put 2 and 2 together and figured out that Mickey and Gilley's were one and the same, and I get to open the show for him that particular night. Then after the show, Conway asked me if I had an agent. 2 days later, I'm signed with United Talent, which was owned by Conway Twitty and Miss Loretta Lynn. 2 weeks later, I was on the road opening shows for Conway Twitty and Miss Loretta Lynn. After 17 years of hard work in the music industry, I had finally arrived.
You've been the object of my